Live from the Waldorf Astoria, welcome to a special edition of Speedweek in New York. This evening's show is being brought to you.
Same location, the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in Midtown Manhattan. I'm Bob Jenkins along with Benny Parsons and Dr. Jerry Punch. And for the next 30 minutes, live Speedweek. See this, friends? This was a script for the Speedweek show. And because we got done 20 minutes early, we might as well throw it all away because what we were supposed to do this half hour, we did in the last 20 minutes. But we've got a lot to tell you about in this half hour. And Benny, it gives us a chance to allow you to use that top hat and cane and maybe do a sing and dance for us.
Oh, no. The hat covers up the bald head. I do not dance in the soft shoe. I don't do that.
We are going to get done at 11:30. You'll have plenty of time to get that thing back before midnight, so you won't have to pay another day's rental.
Another $50 if I don't get it back by midnight.
We'll make sure that doesn't happen. It's been a great night here at the Waldorf Astoria as the drivers have received their honors, and Dale Earnhardt, of course, the big winner. But we've also honored some crew members and team owners. And the championship team owner is with Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thank you, Bob. Richard Childress, who started 9 years ago, who climbed out of the driver's seat and probably had some second thoughts about it, RC. And you said you were very close to being bankrupt after going to Daytona and wrecking a qualifying car practicing. But did you ever believe in your wildest dreams that you would have now won 3 Winston Cup championships and here in 1990 on the stage?
Not really. It's only in America could this happen to a guy that started with nothing and just had the right kind of people behind him and had a whole lot of luck. When Dale came to me in '81, talked to me about driving the car, I did have second thoughts at the time, but it turned out to be the greatest decision I ever made. And then Ricky Rudd drove for me in '82 and '83, and then Dale's been with me ever since, and it's just been a great relationship. Working with Dale Earnhardt, he's the hardest charger in racing, and on and off the track, he's a competitor, and he's a true champion.
Now, you put together a true championship team to make it successful, and these people stay with you. They don't go anywhere. They're not being pulled away to other teams because you're good to them. These guys, some 70 of them in the balcony, you brought them to New York, and you let them tour the city, and they want to stay and be a part of your race team. It's a very loyal organization.
Well, what we try to do is I like to make every man on the team or lady feel that they're part of the team, on the track and off the track. When we're not there, they all, work to make this thing happen, and they're the ones that's really behind the whole thing.
How about 1991 for Richard Childress Racing? What's ahead? What is there left to win?
Well, the Daytona 500, as you know, has slipped away so many times. That would really fulfill a dream that I've always had since a little boy, and for this whole team it would be a dream come true. So, that's going to be one goal we're going to set. But being back in New York on center stage is the best and the most ultimate thing in any form of motorsports I think it could be.
A championship man and a championship car owner, Richard Childress, class all the way, gentlemen.
And our congratulations to Richard Childress, the championship car owner of Dale Earnhardt's GM Goodwrench Chevrolet. Well, a year ago at this time, it was Rusty Wallace who was in the spotlight here at the Waldorf Astoria, picking up the $1 million from R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company as the champion of the Winston Cup Series. Now, he has had a major announcement just earlier today concerning his 1991 plans. And Benny, it involves a guy bringing somebody back into racing that was in racing a few years ago.
Well, Roger Penske is the fellow coming back with Rusty Wallace, and Roger Penske gave Rusty Wallace his first opportunity to drive in Winston Cup in Atlanta over 10 years ago.
As we said, that announcement was made earlier today during one of the many news conferences here in the last 3 days at the Waldorf Astoria. The announcement by last year's champion, Rusty Wallace. Rusty has already been testing his number 2 Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac at Daytona. And earlier today, a new player in Wallace's team was introduced. Roger Penske becomes part owner of the team, and it reunites a combination that goes back to 1980.
Penske gave me my first break in 1980. I won a lot of races. Winston Cup races, and he gave me my first break, and I went down there testing. I finished second, and later he didn't think he could do it right. He just didn't think everything was there to do it perfect, so he backed out. Now I approached him with this project, and he said everything's perfect right now.
Just working with him for the few short months that I have. His knowledge of the vehicle and his understanding of the whole team and the business side is amazing. And I relate him to Emerson and Rick and Danny, who are my current drivers on the IndyCar side. He's focused.
Roger says this in no way will detract from his IndyCar effort, which includes 2 cars in 1991. And I wouldn't doubt but what that's a major contender for 91.
I think it will, because Roger Penske does not go second class. He is first class all the way.
Dr. Jerry punches with Rusty Wallace.
And indeed, Rusty, it had to be exciting for you, getting back with Roger Penske, the man who brought you to stock car racing in 1980.
I'm real excited about it. It's a real neat deal. It was something we worked on for a long time. Our main concentration all year long has been to bring the Blue Max number 27 Miller January draft car to victory lane as many times as I could and try to win this championship. We fell short. It's all over now, and it was 5 great years. And right now I'm kind of looking on to the future and futures with our new team, Penske Racing. I'm a percentage owner of the race team. Roger, 52% owner, I own 24% of it. I'm real excited about this thing, and we're off to a great start with 3 test sessions completed already, and speeds that I've never run as quick as I have so far at Talladega and Daytona. So I'm obviously excited about this. Excited to have Jimmy Makar's crew chief, Harold Elliott as chief engine builder, and Eddie Dickerson, head of fabrication, and Nick O'Lilla with the test team program. So we're excited about it, and I think we're ready for him.
Let's make him fess up, folks. The Pontiac people said you ran speeds faster than the pole at Daytona last February. Is that true a couple of weeks ago when you went to test?
I can't comment on that right now, but I can tell.
But I guarantee you this car is going to be quick come February, Bob.
I guarantee you will also. Now, Roger Penske, of course, is very associated with Chevrolet, and we asked him if there was any consideration given to a Chevrolet being the car that Rusty drives, and it was a simple answer, no, not really, because Rusty has been involved with Pontiac so many years that was the choice of car that he had. Well, we've got a lot more to bring you as far as news is concerned from Midtown Manhattan. We'll be back right after this. Money winner in Winston Cup this year, 3 others also topped the $1 million mark, including Mark Martin, Jeff Bodine, and Bill Elliott. That's one short of the record of 5 millionaires set last year. Back at the Waldorf Astoria in Midtown Manhattan for the Winston Cup Awards Banquet post-show Speedweek. Now, there were other announcements made at the same news conference where Bill France Jr. announced the changes on pit road. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Here are the other announcements from that news conference. The Starlight roof here at the Waldorf was filled to near capacity with members of the news media as a couple of surprises were announced. The Buddy Schumann Award, honoring an individual who contributes in many ways to the sport of stock car racing, was won by former Winston Cup champion and now car owner Bobby Allison. Many thought the newly crowned Winston Cup champion Dale Earnhardt would win the Most Popular Driver Award, but a late surge of votes gave the honor to Darrell Waltrip for the 2nd year in a row.
It obviously means a lot more this year than it did last year. This is the only thing I've won this year. And unfortunately, the fans can't help you win a race. They sometimes can help you lose one, but they can't really help you win one. So this is one of those deals that this means a whole lot.
Earnhardt was 2nd, Bill Elliott 3rd in the balloting. And finally, the selection of the wild card participant in next February's Busch Clash at Daytona. 15 drivers who were second-day fastest qualifiers during the 1990 season were eligible. A spin of the wheel this year decided the winner, Derek Cope. And so the winner of the Daytona 500 last year will be in the Busch Clash, and it's really nice to see that, Benny.
Only fitting that the Daytona 500 winner wouldn't be in the Busch Clash and run all the races in Daytona.
You know, we've talked about this changes on pit road thing, and again, we recap what NASCAR has announced. First of all, there will be the caution flag. Secondly, there will be another pace car on the track to lead the cars down through pit road, and then the cars will pit under an odd and even situation.
That's right. On the green flag, right after a caution flag, when all the cars are bunched up, they'll not be able to come in all at one time on the green flag. Only the odd number of pits can pit the first time, and then the even pits have to pit the next time, so that you never have more than 20 cars on pit road at any time.
Now, do you think this will cause a change in the number of tires changed in a race?
Do I ever? As a matter of fact, I would not be surprised if the winner of the Daytona 500 does not change tires in 500 miles.
Just to show you what we talked about earlier, we had made arrangements with Dale Earnhardt to talk to him during Speedweek, and we did the interview about 20 minutes ago, and we thought he would go off and have his party. But he says, when are we going to do the Speedweek interview? So we'll do it right now. Here's Jerry Punch.
Indeed, we are here with Dale Earnhardt and Teresa, the first family again, our champ and the first lady. And like Dale said, when we're going to do Speedweek. So we're going to do Speedweek right now. He's on the stage here, just having been given $3 million in winnings, over $1 million in checks, somewhere in this pocket, which probably Teresa's getting ready to grab in a moment. But once again, congratulations, champ.
Well, it was a great night. It's a great year, you know, and it's no better way to wind up than here in New York and celebrating the championship with Winston and NASCAR and all the great people here. The fans get to watch it out there on TV tonight. It was a great night. I can't thank Winston and all the folks that supports our racing and all they've done for us. It was a great championship tonight. It was a great awards banquet.
You know, we talk about how much of an intimidator he is at the racetrack, but I've been around the house and I've seen him with Taylor, and I've seen him, he's a pussycat, isn't he?
He's pretty tough.
Oh, no, wait a minute. No, he don't want these folks to know he's really a nice guy. Now, you're a great champion. What is there left? You won it all. IROC, 9 Winston Cup events, 2 of the 4 to the Winston. You won the Winston this year. What is there left to win?
Another championship. You know, Richard's got 7. You know, he's the king and always will be in my heart and in my eyes, and I know a lot of other race fans out there and fans of his. We want to win some more championships, and 1991's a new year. We got to start out trying to win that Daytona 500, so we're going after them.
Speculation is with this new rule change on pit road, we should make pit road a lot safer for the guys and the guys you care about, your crew members, that some guy may win it without even changing tires. Could that happen?
Well, it could. It's going to change things around a lot. Hopefully we'll get to bite on it right quick and figure it out, but anything they can do to make it safer in NASCAR, you know, that's what we want to do.
4 times a Winston Cup champion. It's his night here in the Grand Ballroom. The Waldorf Astoria, Dale Earnhardt, the First Lady Teresa. Back up to you, Bob.
All right, Jerry, and indeed the night does belong to Dale Earnhardt. Now, in our next segment, we're going to talk about something other than Winston Cup racing. There was also a major award handed out here in New York just today, and it involves an IndyCar driver, and we'll be back with that when we return with more of Speedweek. One of the memorable moments of the 1990 Winston Cup season, the last mile of the Daytona 500.
Half a lap to go. Still Earnhardt now stretching his lead by another car length over Cope. Labonte can't do anything with Cope either. Earnhardt's car blows up. Earnhardt blows a tire in turn number 3. Derek Cope down to the inside. Earnhardt slides back into the 4th position. Off the corner, it's Derek Cope.
But here comes Terry Labonte. He looks to the inside. Derek Cope covers the spot. Earnhardt's not a factor here. Cope hold off the challenge of Labonte. Derek Cope wins the Daytona 500 in a remarkable upset here at the World Center of Racing.
Held off Darrell Waltrip in the closing laps of the first Union 400 as the Bodines became the 4th set of brothers to win Winston Cup races in the same season.
How about that, Jeff, huh, buddy?
Welcome back to the Waldorf Astoria in New York. I'm Bob Jenkins along with Benny Parsons, and one of the brother combinations that you raced against, the Allisons, it was nice to see Bobby win that Schumann Award.
Oh, wasn't that fantastic? We were both there and watched Bobby walk up on stage and get that award, and I tell you what, that was a very, very good moment.
Still active in auto racing, of course, as a car owner. Now, although Dale Earnhardt walked off with the majority of the prizes here tonight, he did not win one very prestigious award that was handed out earlier today. That went to PPG car champion Al Unser Jr.
It's a heck of an award, and I was very surprised to find out that I won it. It means an awful lot, and it's very special, and I just thank my team because really they're the ones that made it possible for me to do it, and I thank Kai Kyler for having the award and presenting it to us, and it's just great, and I thank all the panel that voted for me.
You know, Dale Earnhardt is kind of like one of our heroes. We kind of like his style and his image and the way he does things, and I think it's quite an honor for our team to be able to to be in this position because of the competition and the other people that we ran against. So, I'm sure Dale will get his in the future, but right now we're glad and we're going to enjoy this one ourselves.
That had to be a tough decision for those that voted because, both Al Jr. and Dale Earnhardt had tremendous seasons, but these guys get along very well, Alan.
They do, because they've raced in IROC enough to appreciate each other's talents. I think that Al Jr. could make one heck of a stock car driver. He's proved that in IROC.
I think Al Jr. gives Dale credit for teaching him how to draft in the IROC series, so they are very good friends.
They are, and as I said, Al Jr. in a stock car would be tough.
Well, we are live here at the Waldorf Astoria in Midtown Manhattan for the NASCAR Awards Banquet. That concluded about a half hour ago. This is a live edition of Speedweek. Happy holidays from all of us here at Speedweek. Always nice to come here annually for the Winston Cup Awards Banquet, where a lot of money was handed out tonight, and one guy who had hoped to win it all but came up just a little short, but he had a tremendous year. Mark Martin, he finished second in the Winston Cup points, back down to Dr. Jerry Punch.
A lot of festivities continue here, Bob. Of course, and Mark, a great year for you, a tremendous year for Ford, and a tremendous year for Rouse Racing.
It really was. Tell you, we really gave them a run for their money. I thought all the way down to the end that we were going to pull it off. And, it's tough to sit down there and watch, someone else take that $1 million check. And when you came so close, we had such a good year with the Folgers team. I think we're going to be tougher next year.
Question I want to ask, have you thought about that last race at Atlanta? Would you do anything differently? I know you borrowed a car from Robert Yates and went down, and the car ran pretty well, but now that you've had a time to sit back and digest a little bit, would you run your own car? Would you do something maybe a little bit different going into Atlanta for that final event?
We're building a whole bunch of new cars just like that car. No, we did the right thing. We got beat. And we'll be stronger and smarter next year. Fortunately, Ford and Valvoline and Folgers are all going to be back with us, and the team is staying intact, all the personnel, and we're going to be in better shape than ever next year. We just got beat by the best when they were at their best, and we'll have to be stronger and smarter next year.
They say before you can win a Winston Cup championship, you must lose one. Well, you've taken your turn. Now it's your turn to win.
Well, they say that. I don't hardly believe that at all, but maybe they're right. Maybe it'll work out for us. We had a great year this year. We made very few mistakes. We had great cars and great efforts. And under most circumstances, most seasons, it would have been good enough to win the championship, but Dale had an even better season.
A lot of respect for this driver from our champion, Dale Earnhardt. He may not have gotten $1 million, but in a lot of minds across the country, he is indeed a champion. Bob?
He sure is, and you got to feel sorry for Dale in a sense, but boy, they led the points for so long, from Sears Point until after the Phoenix race.
Mark Martin, like he said, you felt like he was going to win the thing, but yet at Phoenix, that was a turning point.
Yep.
He just couldn't get it going, and Earnhardt dominated, took the lead, and we knew going to Atlanta that Martin had an uphill struggle.
Well, we've talked about a lot of news regarding NASCAR and Winston Cup, but there are other stories going on in the world of motorsports, and here's a look at a few of them. The IMSA GTP Jaguars will be sponsored next year by Bud Light, replacing Castrol Motor Oil. That announcement was made here in New York on Thursday. Details of the sponsorship were not announced, but the agreement is for the next 3 years. Davy Jones will be the team's primary driver and will be joined in the longer races by drivers to be named later. Funeral services were held Wednesday in Moorhead, Kentucky for Jim Ruth, former drag racer and president of the International Hot Rod Association. He died of cancer last Saturday afternoon at his home at age 50. Ruth also owned the fastest pro stock car, the Party Time Pontiac, driven by Harold Denton. IHRA's 20th season next year will be dedicated to Ruth's memory. IndyCar owner Carl Haas has been elected chairman of the SCCA Board of Directors. That, combined with his seat on the CART board, makes him the only person to hold executive positions in 2 major auto racing sanctioning bodies. And after hearing from more than 40 witnesses, Vancouver police have decided that there was no negligence in the accident that took the life of a course worker during the running of the Molson IndyCar race in September. We might mention that Castrol is still an associate sponsor on the Jaguar, and Scott Pruitt will drive the car at Daytona and at Sebring. Well, we'll be back here at the Waldorf Astoria to wrap things up on this edition of Speedweek in just a moment. Next week on Speedweek, three-time IMSA GTP champion Jeff Brabham will join us to talk about, among other things, his dual personality.
When I take a step towards the race car and put my helmet on, then there is a switch goes off in me, I'm sure, because I feel totally different. I think I'm a far more aggressive and determined than people ever give me credit for when they meet me outside of the race car.
Speedweek live in New York.
Neil Goldberg and I received the NASCAR Award of Excellence, and that award went tonight to Chris Economaki, the editor of National Speed Sport News and the Dean of Motorsports Writers in the United States. And Dr. Jerry Punch had a chance to talk with Chris Economaki.
Thank you very much, Bob. I am with the man that they have honored here tonight, a signal honor for the Dean of Motorsports, Chris Economaki. Chris, congratulations.
Well, thank you very much, Sherry. What a surprise and what a way to end a career. I had my 70th birthday on October 15th, and I'm going to start getting away from it all, and this is the night of nights for me, really.
It's a pleasure for me, Chris. All of us growing up in this sport wanted to emulate you as an announcer, and tonight to be able to be here when they've honored you in this special evening, the man who certainly set the standard in motorsports broadcasting. Again, congratulations.
Well, thanks very much. It's nice to hear these kind of things. I've worked hard at it, and this is really the icing on the cake.
Bob, back to you.
Thank you, Jerry, and that's going to do it for another edition of Speed Week live from the Waldorf Astoria. We hope you've enjoyed the last half hour of Speed Week and the 2-hour presentation of the Winston Cup Awards Banquet. Next week, we're going to be on at the same time, 11 o'clock Eastern Time on Friday night. And we leave you tonight from the Big Apple with Christmas time in New York City. So long, everyone.